Be me, 35 years old. Finally have my corner office with the view I always deserved. I spent my entire 20s and early 30s building my career while everyone else was wasting time on relationships. Never understood why women would settle for less than perfection. My life is exactly where it should be. Independent, powerful, own my own condo in the city. I don't need anyone to complete me because I'm already complete. Friday night, sitting in my apartment after another productive week. Opened a bottle of wine, the expensive kind I can afford because I don't have to share my income. Scrolling through my phone, looking at all my coupled friends posting their boring domestic photos. Sarah posted another picture of her husband doing dishes. Wow, Sarah, what an achievement. He performs basic hygiene tasks. Roll my eyes so hard I almost sprain something. Her husband works in middle management and drives a Honda Civic. She could have done so much better if she hadn't been so desperate to settle down at 28. Think about my own dating life. Haven't been on a date in 4 months. Not because I can't get dates, obviously. Because the quality of men out there is absolutely abysmal. My standards aren't even that high. Just want someone who makes more money than me, is over 6 feet tall, has a graduate degree, politically aligned with my values, emotionally available but not needy, ambitious but also makes time for me, spontaneous but reliable, wants kids but only after we've been together for at least 3 years, shares housework equally, which means he does at least 60% since I work more hours, and obviously finds me beautiful without makeup, but also appreciates when I make an effort. Is that really so much to ask? I bring a lot to the table. I'm educated, successful. I go to the gym 4 times a week. Okay, 3 times a week. Okay, I have a gym membership. The point is, I could go 4 times a week if I wanted to. I'm a catch, and I know it. My phone buzzes. Dating app notification. Some guy named Jack matched with me. Look at his profile. He's decent looking, seems successful from his photos. One picture of him at what looks like a charity gala. Another of him hiking, showing he's active. Bio says he's a consultant, went to a good school. Okay, maybe this could be worth my time. Send him a message first, because I'm confident and modern. Ask him what he does for work, where he sees himself in 5 years. Important to establish these things early so nobody wastes anyone's time. He responds pretty quickly. Tells me he does management consulting, currently working on expanding into Southeast Asian markets. Travels a lot for work. I immediately start thinking about how that could be a problem. I need someone who will be present and available. But also I respect ambition and career focus. Respond asking how often he travels. He says about twice a month, usually for a week at a time. I tell him that seems excessive. He sends back a laughing emoji and says it's part of the job he loves. Already I can see this isn't going to work. Why do men always have to be so inflexible? Suggest we get coffee anyway, because maybe I can help him see why that lifestyle isn't sustainable for a relationship. We set up a date for Sunday afternoon. I pick the place, obviously. Some new artisanal coffee shop that just opened. The kind where coffee costs $8 because it's ethically sourced. If he complains about the price, I'll know he's not financially secure enough. Sunday comes around. I spend 2 hours getting ready. Tell myself I'm not trying too hard. I just want to look presentable. Change outfits 4 times. Settle on something that says successful but approachable. Arrive at the coffee shop exactly 5 minutes late. Read somewhere that arriving slightly late establishes that your time is valuable. Jack is already there. He's taller than I expected, probably 6'1" or 6'2". Wearing nice clothes but not trying too hard. He smiles when he sees me and stands up. Okay, good manners. That's a point in his favor. We order coffee. He doesn't flinch at the price. Another point. We sit down and start talking. I lead the conversation, asking him questions about his work, his goals, his values. He answers everything thoughtfully. Asks me about my work too. I tell him about my position, how I've worked hard to get where I am, how I've had to fight against discrimination and bias in the tech industry. He listens and nods. Seems genuinely interested. Then he asks me what I like to do outside of work. I pause, because I haven't really thought about this. My work is my life, by choice. Tell him I enjoy networking events, professional development seminars, reading business books. He smiles and says, "That's great, but what do I do for fun?" I bristle a little at the question. My career is fun. Why do people always assume work and enjoyment are separate things? Tell him I also enjoy cultural experiences, museums, art galleries. Which is true, I went to a museum like 6 months ago. He tells me he likes to rock climb and play in a recreational soccer league. Immediately, I'm calculating how much time these hobbies take away from career development. Seems frivolous. But I don't say that because I'm trying to keep an open mind. The date continues for about an hour. It's fine, not terrible. He suggests we walk around the neighborhood since it's nice outside. I agree. We're walking and talking. He asks me what I'm looking for in a relationship. Finally, a man who's direct about intentions. I appreciate this. I tell him I'm looking for a true partner. Someone who understands that relationships are about equality. Someone who won't expect me to do all the emotional labor. Someone who has really examined their own privilege and biases. Someone who understands that my career is just as important as his. Someone who would be willing to relocate if I got a better job offer. Someone who wants kids eventually, but understands they would need to take on at least half of all childcare duties. Someone who has read the important literature on modern partnership dynamics. I'm on a roll now, really explaining my vision. Notice he's gotten quiet. Ask him what he thinks. He says it sounds like I've really thought about this. I tell him of course I have. I'm not going to just stumble into something without a plan. He nods slowly. Asks if I've ever been in a long-term relationship. I tell him I've had several relationships, but they didn't work out because the men weren't evolved enough. One guy got intimidated by my success. Another wasn't willing to do his fair share around the house. Another one actually expected me to cook dinner most nights just because I got home from work earlier. As if my time was less valuable than his just because of scheduling. Jack listens to all this. Then he asks me what I think I bring to a relationship. I'm taken aback by the question. Isn't it obvious? I tell him I bring financial stability, intelligence, independence, strong communication skills. He says those are great qualities. Then asks if I think relationships should be transactional. I tell him I think relationships should be fair and equal. He says those aren't quite the same thing. I'm starting to get annoyed now. Feels like he's trying to catch me in some kind of trap. We end the walk, and he says he had a nice time. I wait for him to suggest a second date. He just says it was nice meeting me and hopes I find what I'm looking for. I'm confused. Ask him if he wants to see me again. He says he doesn't think we're compatible. I ask why not. He says, I seem like I'm interviewing for a position rather than getting to know a person. I tell him that's a responsible approach to dating. He shrugs and says, maybe, but it's not for him. We part ways. I walk back to my car fuming. I can't believe I wasted a Sunday afternoon on that. He seemed so promising on paper. But clearly, he's intimidated by a woman who knows what she wants. Typical. Next few weeks continue the same pattern. Match with guys on apps. Go on first dates. They never lead to second dates. Starting to get frustrated. My friend Jennifer suggests maybe I should try being more flexible with my requirements. I tell her I'm not going to lower my standards just to have a relationship. She says that's not what she means. She means maybe I should focus on connection rather than checkboxes. I tell her that's naive. She's been married for 7 years, so what does she know about modern dating? Another month goes by. My company is doing well. I'm up for a promotion to senior director. Would mean even more responsibility, better salary, equity increase. I'm definitely getting it. I'm the most qualified person in the company for the role. The only competition is this guy named David, who's been here 2 years less than me. But he's chummy with the executives. Always playing golf with them on weekends. Such an obvious old boys club move. The announcement comes in a company-wide meeting. They give the position to David. I'm in shock. Sit there trying to keep my face neutral while everyone congratulates him. After the meeting, I go straight to my boss's office. Demand to know why I was passed over. My boss, a woman in her 50s, sits me down. Tells me I'm incredibly talented and valuable to the company. But David demonstrated stronger collaborative leadership skills. I ask what that means. She says, David has been really effective at building cross-functional relationships and bringing teams together. I argue that I've done the same thing. She gently says that I tend to create friction with colleagues who don't immediately agree with my approaches. I leave her office feeling betrayed. This is discrimination. Has to be. I'm being held to a different standard because I'm a woman. David gets rewarded for being assertive, while I get penalized for the same behavior. Spend the rest of the day barely containing my rage. That evening, I'm venting to my friend group chat. Most of them are sympathetic. But Jennifer again suggests maybe I should reflect on the feedback. I tell her she's supposed to be supporting me. She says she is supporting me by being honest. I stop responding to the chat. Decide I need to focus on myself. Throw myself even more into work. If they won't promote me, I'll find somewhere that values me. Start looking at other positions. update my resume, reach out to recruiters, get a few interviews at other companies. They all seem promising initially. Then nothing comes through. One recruiter eventually gives me honest feedback, says I come across as combative in interviews. I'm absolutely flawed. I'm confident and direct, not combative. This is exactly the kind of bias women face. I'm now 36. Another year has passed. Haven't been on a date in months. Threw myself into job searching, but nothing panned out. Still at the same company, same position. David is doing well in his new role. I have to sit in meetings where he leads strategy discussions. Kills me inside every time. My sister calls me. She's pregnant with her third kid. She sounds so happy. Asks me how I'm doing. I tell her work is fine, life is fine. She asks if I'm seeing anyone. I tell her I'm focusing on my career right now. She says she worries about me being alone. I snap at her that I'm not alone. I have friends and a fulfilling career. She backs off, but I can hear the concern in her voice. We end the call awkwardly. That night, I open a bottle of wine. Sit on my couch in my beautiful condo that I bought myself. Look around at my expensive furniture and art. Feel completely empty. Tell myself it's just a mood. I've built exactly the life I wanted. Independent, successful, beholden to no one. Scroll through social media. Everyone is posting about their kids, their partners, their family vacations. Sarah just posted about her 10-year anniversary with her mediocre husband. They're going on a trip to Italy. She looks genuinely happy in the photo. I realize I can't remember the last time I felt that kind of joy. Pour another glass of wine. Start thinking about all my choices. Told myself I was waiting for the right person. Told myself I wouldn't settle. But maybe everyone else isn't settling. Maybe they're just accepting that perfect doesn't exist. Immediately shut down that thought. I'm not going to gaslight myself into thinking my standards are the problem. The problem is that men aren't rising to meet them. Decide to give dating one more real try. Download a new app. Spend hours crafting the perfect profile. Highlight all my accomplishments. Make it clear what I'm looking for. Get matches pretty quickly. Start messaging with a few guys. One of them is named Ryan. He's a lawyer. Seems intelligent from his messages. We have good banter back and forth. He suggests meeting for dinner. I agree. The day of the date arrives. Meet him at a nice restaurant. He's attractive, well-dressed, articulate. We order drinks and appetizers. Conversation flows easily at first. We talk about our careers, our interests. He seems genuinely successful and ambitious. I'm thinking maybe this could actually work. Then he asks me about my last relationship. I tell him it ended because he wasn't willing to examine his internalized biases. Ryan asks what I mean. I explain how my ex expected me to perform emotional labor without reciprocation. How he wanted me to manage the household despite both of us working full-time. How he couldn't handle me earning more than him. Ryan nods along, then asks how long ago that relationship ended. I tell him 5 years. He looks surprised. Asks if I've dated since then. I tell him I've been on dates, but nothing serious. He asks why nothing became serious. I tell him honestly that most men aren't ready for the kind of equal partnership I require. He asks me to describe what that looks like. I start listing things. Equal division of household labor. Equal decision-making power. Equal financial contribution relative to income. Equal emotional availability. Equal career support. I'm really warming to the topic now. Explaining how most men say they want an equal partner, but really want a woman who will still perform traditional roles while also having a career. How they want the benefits of a modern woman without any of the adjustments to their own behavior. I notice Ryan has gotten very quiet. Ask him what he thinks. He says it sounds very logical, but asks if I ever think about what the other person wants. I'm confused by the question. Tell him, of course, that's the whole point of equality. Both people get what they want. He says gently that it sounds more like I have a very specific vision and I'm looking for someone to fill a role. I feel myself getting defensive. Tell him, I'm just someone who knows what she wants. He says there's a difference between knowing what you want and being unwilling to compromise. I tell him compromise is just another word for settling. He shakes his head. Says compromise is how any two different people build a life together. Says it sounds like I want someone who wants exactly what I want, behaves exactly how I think they should behave, and lives exactly the life I've planned. I tell him he's twisting my words. He says he's really not. Says I've spent the last hour telling him all the things I require and expect, but haven't asked him a single question about what he wants from a relationship. I open my mouth to argue but realize he's right. I haven't asked. Feel embarrassed and angry. Tell him I was just being honest about my needs. He says that's fine, but a relationship is two people's needs, not just one. I tell him, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Men always expect women to cater to their needs. I'm just being upfront that I won't do that. He signals for the check. Says I think I'm fighting against sexism, but really I'm just self-centered. I'm furious now. Tell him he's clearly too insecure for a strong woman. He laughs. Actually laughs. Says I can tell myself that if it makes me feel better. But the truth is, I'm going to be alone until I figure out that other people aren't NPCs in my life story. He pays for his half of the bill. Leaves cash on the table. Says he hopes I find what I'm looking for, but he doubts I will because I don't actually want a partner. I want a subordinate who thinks they're equal. Walks out. I sit there alone at the table. Finish my wine. Tell myself he's an asshole. He doesn't understand anything. Pay my half and leave. Drive home with tears in my eyes. Not sad tears, angry tears. I'm angry that I keep meeting these men who can't handle me. Angry that everyone seems to think I'm the problem. Angry that I've done everything right and still ended up alone. Get home and pour another drink. Sit in the dark in my living room. My phone lights up with a text from Jennifer. She's checking in, asking how the date went. I don't respond. See, I have a message from my mom too, asking when I'm coming to visit. I don't respond to that either. Open my laptop. Look at my bank account. The numbers are good. I'm financially stable. More than stable. Look at my calendar. Packed with work, meetings, and commitments. Look at my contact list. Realize I haven't had a meaningful conversation with anyone in weeks. All my interactions are transactional. Even my friendships have become about networking. Think about what Ryan said, about me treating people like NPCs. Want to dismiss it, but it keeps echoing in my head. Think about my date with Jack months ago. I spent the whole time interviewing him. Never actually tried to connect with him as a person. Think about all my failed dates before that. All the relationships that ended. Always blamed them for not being evolved enough. For not meeting my standards. For being intimidated by my success. Pour another drink. Starting to feel the wine now. My thoughts are getting fuzzy and dark. Look around my perfect apartment. Everything exactly as I want it. No one to mess it up. No one to compromise with. No one to share it with. My phone buzzes again. Another dating app notification. Someone new matched with me. Look at his profile. Seems decent. Open the message function. Start to type my usual opener. Stop. Delete it. What's the point? It'll just be the same thing again. I'll find something wrong with him. Or he'll find something wrong with me. Probably the latter if I'm honest. Close the app. Close my laptop. Sit in the silence. My beautiful, perfect, silent apartment. Think about Sarah and her mediocre husband. Their 10-year anniversary. Their trip to Italy. The genuine happiness in her face. Think about my sister and her 3 kids. The chaos of her life that I always judged. The fulfillment in her voice when we talk. Realize I'm crying. Actually crying now. Not just angry tears. I'm 36 years old. Sitting alone in the dark. Drinking wine by myself. Haven't had a meaningful relationship in 5 years. Haven't had someone to share my life with even longer than that. Told myself it was because I was too good for the options available. Too smart to settle. Too successful to compromise. But sitting here now, I wonder if I was just too scared. Scared to let someone in. Scared to be vulnerable. Scared to admit I might not have all the answers. Wrapped it all up in language about standards and equality and empowerment. But maybe I just built a fortress and called it freedom. Think about all the times people tried to give me feedback. My boss saying I create friction. Jennifer suggesting I be more flexible. Jack saying I was interviewing him. Ryan saying I want a subordinate, not a partner. Dismissed all of them. Told myself they didn't understand. They were biased. They were threatened. They were wrong. But what if I was wrong? What if my standards aren't high? They're just rigid. What if I'm not empowered? I'm just controlling. What if I'm not independent? I'm just isolated. Finish the bottle of wine. No, I'm going to feel terrible tomorrow. Don't care. Stumble to my bedroom. Expensive sheets on my king-size bed. Plenty of room. All the room in the world. Just for me. Always just for me. Lie there, staring at the ceiling. Think about what I wanted at 25. Success, independence, respect. Got all of that. But somewhere along the way, I decided that needing people was weakness. That compromise was failure. That anything less than perfect was settling. Built my entire personality around not needing anyone. Convinced myself it was strength. Feminist icon. Living life on my own terms. But lying here now, I feel anything but strong. Feel hollow. Feel like I've won some kind of battle but lost the war. Have everything I thought I wanted. And nothing I actually need. My phone buzzes one more time. It's late now. After midnight. It's Jennifer. Just says, "I love you. I'm here if you want to talk." Start crying again. Want to respond but don't know what to say. I don't know how to admit that maybe I've been wrong. I don't know how to explain that I'm successful and accomplished and completely lost. Fall asleep eventually. Wake up with a terrible headache. It's Saturday morning. No work to distract me. Lie in bed looking at my phone. Scroll through social media. Everyone living their imperfect lives. Compromising and adjusting and making it work. While I sit here alone in my perfect apartment. With my perfect career. And my perfect standards. Perfectly alone. Get up and make coffee. Expensive coffee maker I bought myself. Expensive coffee beans. Everything expensive and high quality and exactly what I wanted. Tastes bitter. Everything tastes bitter lately. Sit at my kitchen island. Designed it myself. Picked out every detail. Marble countertops. Top of the line appliances. No one to cook for but myself. Usually just eat takeout anyway. Too busy for cooking. Too busy for everything except work. Think about calling Jennifer back. Admitting that maybe she was right. That maybe I should have listened. But my pride won't let me. Spent so many years being right. Being the one with the answers. I can't admit now that I've been lost the whole time. Spend the weekend alone. Like most weekends. Tell myself it's self-care. It's not self-care. It's just loneliness dressed up in better language. Monday comes and I go back to work. Throw myself into meetings and projects. It's easier than thinking. Easier than feeling. David stops by my office. Asks if I want to grab lunch. Probably feels sorry for me. I tell him I'm too busy. He says the offer stands anytime. I nod and go back to my computer. He lingers for a moment, then leaves. My boss emails me about a new project. Big client, high profile. Exactly the kind of thing I've been waiting for. Should be excited. Just feel tired. But I respond enthusiastically. Because that's what I do. I perform success even when I feel empty. Months continue like this. Work, sleep, repeat. Occasional dates that go nowhere. Occasional hangouts with friends that feel hollow. Occasional family calls where I pretend everything is fine. I'm 37 now. Then 38. Time moving faster than I expected. My life exactly the same. Same apartment. Same job. Same isolation. Jennifer gets engaged. She asks me to be a bridesmaid. I say yes because that's what friends do. Help her plan even though it makes me want to scream. Watch her be so happy with someone who isn't perfect. He's a teacher. Doesn't make much money. He's slightly shorter than her. He dropped out of grad school. He has anxiety issues he's working through. He's everything I would have dismissed immediately. And she's radiantly happy. At her wedding, I watched them exchange vows. They wrote their own. They talk about choosing each other every day. About accepting each other's flaws. About growing together. About compromise and patience and love. I cried during the ceremony. Everyone probably thinks it's happy crying. It's not. Catch the bouquet, because the universe has a sick sense of humor. Everyone cheers. I force a smile. Hold the flowers and feel nothing but irony. At the reception, I drink too much champagne. Jennifer's new husband asks me to dance. He's kind, makes small talk. Asks if I'm seeing anyone. I tell him no. He says, I'll find someone when the time is right. I nod and say nothing. What I want to say is that the time was probably right a dozen times. But I sabotaged it every time. Because I was too busy being right to be happy. Go home that night. Still in my bridesmaid dress. Sit on my couch. Look at the bouquet I caught. Fancy flowers, probably expensive. Temporary, like everything else. They'll die in a few days. I'll throw them away. Just like I threw away every chance at connection. Every opportunity for love. Because it wasn't perfect. Because it didn't meet my exact specifications. Because I couldn't control it. I'm 38 years old. Sitting alone in my expensive apartment. Holding a wedding bouquet. Symbol of hope I don't feel. Promise of love I've rejected too many times to count. Pull out my phone. Open the dating apps one more time. Look at the matches. The messages. All these men trying to connect. All these opportunities I'll probably waste. Because I still don't know how to be wrong. Still don't know how to compromise. Still don't know how to let someone in. The worst part is, I know exactly what I've done. Understand it completely. Could probably write a thesis on my own self-sabotage. But knowing and changing are different things. I built my identity on being uncompromising. On having high standards. On refusing to settle. How do I let that go without losing myself? Except I'm starting to realize I already lost myself. somewhere between building my career and building my walls, between demanding equality and demanding perfection, between knowing what I want and refusing anything less. Ryan was right. I don't want a partner. I want someone to fill a role I've designed, someone to meet requirements I've listed, someone to be perfect in all the ways I've decided matter. That's not a relationship. That's a job posting. And I'm sitting here at 38, with my corner office and my condo and my expensive everything, completely and utterly alone, outsmarted by my own intelligence, defeated by my own standards, isolated by my own ideology, the feminism I thought I was practicing, the empowerment I thought I was embodying. It was just fear wearing a disguise. Fear of vulnerability dressed up as strength. Fear of compromise dressed up as standards. Fear of intimacy dressed up as independence. And now I'm here, exactly where I chose to be, exactly where my choices led me, unable to blame anyone but myself, but still not knowing how to change. Put the bouquet in water. Watch the flowers sit there, beautiful and alone, just like me, just like I'll probably always be. Because even now, even knowing all this, I still can't imagine lowering my standards. Still can't imagine compromising. Still can't imagine being anything other than what I've made myself. And that's the real tragedy. Not that I'm alone, but that I've convinced myself this is victory. This is empowerment. This is success. When really it's just the most elaborate form of failure. And I'm too proud to admit it. Too stubborn to change it. Too entrenched in being right to ever be happy. I'm 38 years old, and I finally understand what everyone was trying to tell me. But understanding doesn't fix anything. Doesn't make me less alone. Doesn't undo the years of pushing people away. Doesn't change who I've become. Just makes me aware of the prison I've built, and called it a palace.